So, excuse my appearance. Listen, my hair is twisted and I don't feel like taking it out. So, today is Sunday, March 6th, 17th, 18th, one of them. And I'm on my way back to HPU. Love it. So, I thought, like, this would be a perfect time to do a drive with me back to college. So, okay. I was in DC from Sunday till Friday morning, and so, like, you guys already seen that vlog. I had such a fun time. DC is such a culture-rich city that there was just so much, and I felt like we just didn't have enough time to see it all. But one of the most breathtaking things was when I went to the Martin Luther King Memorial, and it was at night, and, like, his statue was, like, glistening in the moonlight, and I was like, oh my God, like, I felt like I had an out-of-body experience. I was like, this is one of the most beautiful things ever. And then his statue overlooks the city, and it was amazing, and it was so breathtaking. And so if you haven't been to DC, because before this trip I never have been to DC, I like rode through it because we like circled the White House a few times when I was younger, but like I don't really count that. So really I've never been to DC. But and then we went to Georgetown Cupcakes, which was so good. A cupcake was like $3.50, but it was worth it because their cupcakes were so good. And then we went to the African American Museum, and I know I talked about that a little, but the African American Museum is also one of those things where it was just so breathtaking. And so if you want to go, I would advise you to go early in the day and just to stay all day, because to really soak up all that information and to get the most out of the museum and the most out of that experience, you kind of would have to stay all day or at least for 5 hours. We got there at about 2:30 and we had to leave by 5, so we were able to stay for about 2 hours, but like it just wasn't enough time. We really only got through the bottom level, and there's like 4 floors, but that is also beautiful. And mind you, none of this stuff cost, well, Georgetown Cupcake cost, but the African American Museum, did not cost, and it was so beautiful, and so you have to go to it. And also we went to the Capitol, which was really cool. There was this secretary that gave us a tour, and so that was really nice at the Capitol. So I really enjoyed that. It was just cool. We did see, and so we were in the Capitol when the whole thing with Trump's wall, when it got vetoed, we were in the Capitol. I was like, what a small world. So when I think Congress was like, no, we're not going to give you the wall. So we were in there when that happened. So what a small world. But yeah, that was that. Overall, I just like really had a great time. I think it was great. I really wish I could have stayed a little bit more, like longer, but you know, I'm very thankful. And I just want to recap about that. I had such a good time. I was with friends. I had a really good food. I went to Ben's Chili Bowl. I know that's like an iconic place in DC, and a lot of people love Ben's Chili Bowl. So I went there. My thoughts, that it was like okay. I don't eat beef, so I feel like their most famous thing is the chili and their hot dogs. And oh, there we go. Okay. So, like, the most iconic thing is the chili and the hot dogs, but I couldn't eat it. So, I had to get, what did I get? I got a turkey burger, which was not that good. And then I got a, like, vegan chili, but it was not that good either. But it was, like, okay. But my friends that got the chili, they said it was, like, pretty good. So, I think that's definitely what you have to get, because that's what they're known for. Like, they're not known for their like turkey products. So yeah, but it was a good price too. It was maybe like $10 for a meal, which isn't not bad. But things in DC do cost a bit more. Like, we went to, first off, hold on. So when we were on our way back to High Point, so in DC we went to Chick-fil-A that morning, and a regular Chick-fil-A sandwich here in North Carolina, like plain chicken, number one, well, it's like between $3.60 and $3.90. Yeah, not even. So it's under $4. And so that was cool. So I go up there and I ask the girl for a number one, no pickle, just sandwich. It was $4.65. No. It was like $4.95. I said, are you kidding me? I could have got a whole tray. Like, if the regular sandwich was $4.95, a combo was probably like $8. Like, that's expensive. That's steep. So, I don't know what DC is on. I don't know if it was the fact that we were at Amtrak, or it was just because DC is a little bit more expensive than North Carolina. I don't know, but the average place we went to, a meal was going to be between $10 and $20. But it was nice because I didn't have to pay for any of my dinners. I just had to pay for lunches, and like we kind of pack lunch sometimes. So like it wasn't too bad. But at least like I was able to have some money set aside because I knew that DC was a little bit more expensive. Well, no. I didn't know it was like that more expensive, but it really reminded me of like New York prices. And New York is very expensive. Like in New York at McDonald's, they do not have a dollar menu. Like they don't have any of that. They just really be trying to make their money. But one thing that really shocked me about DC, was just the amount of homelessness. Like we weren't too far from the Capitol and the White House, and there were so many homeless people. And like my dad told me that the homelessness rate in DC is very high, and then come to find out that DC ranks top 5 in the most amount of homeless people in their city. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. And they said that like for every one homeless woman, there's 9 homeless men. But there in DC, there's not that many programs for homeless men. And I'm just like, wow. And so I think they said 75,000. There's 75,000 homeless in DC. And that's just, it hurts me and it makes me so sad because DC personally is one of the most richest cities, and they can't have programs to fund or to give these homeless people the resources that they need. And they're even cutting government funded programs so then they're able to serve less people. And it's just like, come on now. Like, you're one of the most richest cities in the United States and you still can't provide housing and assistance for homeless people. And it's just like disgusts me. And so as our group, like we talked about how to combat homelessness. And one of the things that people need to realize, or I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but there is enough money in America and enough money circulating that we could end homelessness. But the problem is the people in the 1%, or the people who have this money, they don't give enough, or some that do, they don't give enough, or they don't give as a collective to make homelessness stop. And instead of, spending money on things that are unnecessary, we won't spend the money on things that we truly need, like better education. Like, I don't know if you guys saw on CNN, but they're cutting like public education by like $3.4 trillion, something like that. They're cutting SNAP benefits, they're cutting food stamps, like they're cutting these things that low income people need. And it saddens me because then we're gonna filter that money into something that we truly don't need. Like, we need the education system. And I am so very grateful that my parents did have the financial resources to send me to private school. But a lot of people don't. Private schools are very expensive. Charter schools are very hard to get into. And if you're cutting the funding from these public schools, so then where do you want kids to go? Or then you don't care about their education. Or you don't care that they don't have books and computers and all that. You don't care about that. And that's what makes me so sad. So there's a lot of good in DC, but there's also a lot of bad in DC. So the next time I go to DC, I would love to just serve. Like, we did serve at one nonprofit. It's called DC Central Kitchen, and they provide food for up to 5,000 people a day. So we were like cutting celery, making bread. So it was really cool to be able to serve because majority of the people they serve are homeless people. And it's just crazy how much of an epidemic homelessness is in DC. Like, there's a lot of homeless in Charlotte, but there's so much more in DC, and it just seems like they don't have that many programs. And what this one lady was saying, that they have different churches in the area that take homeless people. So say if there's 5,000 homeless people at one shelter that night, or one church that night, usually churches are only able to take between, I think she said 7 to 10 people, and shelters are only able to take like 100 to 150, something like that. And so there's only a couple shelters and there's only a couple churches. So just think about how many people are on the streets. It's crazy to me, but our generation is going to be the one to stop this, or either continue it. And that's all I can say. It's ridiculous of how much money we have, but we don't care about these people anymore. And it's just so sad. But our generation can be the one to change this epidemic, but it's just our choice if we want to do that. And like I said, there's more than enough money out here. I firmly from the bottom of my heart believe that there is enough money in this world to end homelessness and to end hunger, but we just choose not to. Oh, and a little fun fact, or not fun, but a little fact for you to know about food. And people say, oh, like hunger will never end. So you know how these companies, they'll have food, and instead of, so some companies do, like Panera and stuff, they do give their food to homeless shelters instead of throwing it away. But like Harris Teeter and stuff, they don't do that. So Harris Teeter, and this is, I just know about this personally from Harris Teeter, they'll throw away their food. So instead of giving it to homeless shelters, or instead of having the coordinator of homeless shelters come pick it up, they'll rather throw it away. These canned goods, me and you both know that the date on canned goods and stuff is like 6 months early. So it'll say it expires in March, but truly it doesn't go bad till like September, October. So instead of giving that and shipping that to South America, to Venezuela, if y'all do not know what's going on in Venezuela, you guys need to check it out. Because literally, the president of their government does not want to leave, and they appointed a new president. In the streets of Venezuela, if you guys can see this picture, people have just thrown away their money. The money is on the side of the road, just sitting there, because their currency is worthless and their economy has hit rock bottom. And so their water is black, therefore they can't make food, they can't drink. So instead of Harris Teeter bagging up all their old canned goods that they can no longer use and shipping it to Venezuela, we decide to throw it in a trash can. And if you guys think I am lying, please look it up. And I'm just so passionate about this because there is more than enough materials and resources and money out here. We just don't allocate it correctly. And that's what the true problem is. But yeah. My trip to DC was eye-opening. And so I love when my eyes are just like widened more, and I'm able to take a step back and say, like, dang, what can I do to end this problem? Because little things surely do add up. So what's one thing that I can do? Like the next time I come to DC, can I bring my old clothes that I don't wear? Can I bring any food that I'm not eating? Can I donate money to a specific charity? Like, what can I do? And if we as people could take a step back and say, what can I do to end X, Y, and Z, whatever you're passionate about? What can I do to end homelessness, to end starvation and all of that? One thing at a time matters. And I'm not the first, and I will not say that I have all this money and I'm able to donate all this money, but I do have time. And when I go to DC, I can spend 2 hours volunteering here and 2 hours volunteering there. I do have $10, $15 where I can give it to a charity because I see the good work that they're doing. I do have money to go pick up a few burgers and give it to a homeless man when I walk down the street. Like, that's the things I do have. And so I'm going to challenge you guys. Like, I'm going to end this vlog or this driving with me, I really am gonna start crying because I'm just like so saddened by the amount of, I know like non-humility isn't the word that I'm looking for, but the amount of non-humility we have, especially for homeless people. Like we look at them like they don't matter, or that they're just nothing, and they aren't. And that's what truly hurts, and that's what really hurts me, because these people don't have the resources, and the government is trying to cut them. And like, what are they supposed to do? You have homeless people out here dying every single day due to diseases because they don't have insurance or Medicaid, due to frostbite because there's not enough room and shelter. Like, it makes me so sad. So I'm gonna stop talking about this, but like I was saying, I'm gonna challenge you guys to, like, when you guys go do your grocery shopping this week, go pick up a few extra things. Go pick up some extra bottles of water and some, granola bars and stuff like that, and just keep it in your car. So when you're driving around, if you see a homeless person, just give it to them. Like, that's what I do. I'll keep a few extra snacks in my car, and I'll just give it to a homeless person, because you never know what that one bottle of water can do, or that one granola bar can do. They may not have eaten for the past 2 days. And I'm going to leave it at this, and I'm just going to say that you don't know what blessing you are to someone else.